very much. You both have shared wonderful stories about where you've gone through and what has gone on in your own lives and shared personal stories. And this is something that we don't often get a chance to really do in the medical community, is to share personal stories. So that's one of the things that fellows like Dr. Dan Rishka and myself, being medical providers, we don't get the chance to really come up here and talk about what happens that we observe. We generally have to go up and describe things in the medical sense of this is the condition, this is the symptoms. It's very dry when you actually deal with it as a medical provider. But when you're a patient, it's much more real. You're dealing with the pain and the symptoms every day. And that's why at this particular time, we had intended on having some physicians come forward and talk about their practice and recommending medical cannabis and why they did that. Unfortunately, I think it was Dr. Metzler's office was not able to attend, and he's the neurologist through Dent Neurologic, and another physician who is an osteopath, Dr. Troy Sassi, usually comes but was not able to come at the last minute. They were called away. Now, Dr. Troy Sassi sees patients generally on a more, how shall I say, walk-in basis or on an appointment basis. This is the person that will probably be able to help you get your medical card, but will not as much have the knowledge and detail that a physician like somebody at the Dent Medical Group would have. So if you're looking for something that's going to help you with your arthritis pain, something you don't really, what's the word I'm looking for?
Well, for one thing, the Dent is primarily neuropathy.
Neuropathy.
Right now, and if you're looking elsewhere, they may not be able to help you as well.
Exactly, and Dr. Saski's office, Lakeside Medical Care, is the name of the practice, and I can give you the phone number as soon as I locate where I put the flight cards.
For these patients that have taken this, what's been the effect of your other providers, your other doctors, taking care of you whenever they ask what you're taking and you tell them?
More and more, they're becoming amenable to it. You find some who really dig their heels in, and if they get out of control, you fire them. But
there you go.
To be honest, again, more and more, I mean, oddly enough, I went to the dermatologist the other day, and I said, well, I've got to tell you everything. He's like, why has this taken so long in New York? Good for you.
You have good physicians like that, and then I'll share a personal story of my own. My wife had a back injury, a spinal, right between T12L1 and right in the dead center of the spine, basically. So with that nerve damage, she found herself severely limited in her range of motion. All of that, wasn't able to lift things more than 10 pounds, all that good stuff. After going through years, seeing different neurologists, neurosurgeons, everybody who said that they couldn't do anything for her, she had been seeing this pain management specialist for a while who, after she asked one time, the receptionist at the front desk, I hear medical marijuana is the thing now. I've tried literally a dozen other things that have done no good for me. What about that? Their response was, we are no longer seeing you at this practice. Get out before we call the cops. This was the doctor's office. Now, I have since had some very strong words with that particular physician. And that is a disservice to patients when they behave that way, but there are some who will behave that way. And that is something for every patient to be aware that you can always fire your doctor if you're not happy with the service you're getting. But remember that your doctor is there to dispense medical advice. They either know what they're talking about or they don't. If they know what they're talking about, you might want to keep them on. If they don't know what they're talking about, you might want to find somebody who does. That has nothing to do with cannabis, as I just said. It responsible patient knowing whether or not you have a doctor who's worth their salt?
Specifically for pain management, like I have my regular doctor who oversees me, shuffling me off to all my other specialists for tests and so forth. But I had this pain specialist that's been following me, since the chemo. Anybody that's on pain medicine knows that you have to pee in a cup every month because there's no refills on pain medicine. You get a 30-day supply, you come back in 30 days, they take more of your money. For your analysis, they send it off to Quest gets more money, and so forth. But my pain specialist, I told her this is what I was doing, and she worked with me. The interesting thing is that since I started the program, and I started on the medical marijuana, I still have to pee in a cup every month, but she has not submitted it to Quest. So she's so scared of the repercussions of her insurance and her license and all the other garbage around, even though she should be protected under New York law, she's not putting my test through. So obviously they would be positive for marijuana if they would come back THC. Obviously, she's got all the records from then. She knows this is what I'm doing. I'm titrating off the pain pills. And so I test positive. She's so afraid of having a positive, THC test come back that she's just not putting it through Quest. And when I confronted her about it or why she wasn't doing this, she just said, "Oh, I trust you, Wendy." So that's where she left it. But Quest has, Quest has not get any of my test results in a year, which is kind of scary, because something else could be going on. But she's so afraid of, license, repercussions that's what happened.
What is the reason
But at least
that
she's working with me.
the marijuana got on the Schedule 1? A while, 60s, 70s, when...
Earlier.
It was Prohibition era.
Really?
It was Prohibition era. There
I
was
know.
one Texas congressman who basically, part of the way they got it through, the AMA said, well, we don't know what marijuana is, this must be dangerous. And it wasn't until it was already basically through that they said, wait a minute, no, this is one of our primary medicines. There was one Texas congressman who said that there are Mexicans going out using this stuff and raping white women, and we have to stop it.
If you look at the source of where all this is, if you really look at this, it's money. And who's going to make money, who's going to lose money. If you really look back in the 20s and the 30s, it was actually a U.S. Pharmacopoeia, which is a book that has all the medical products, 1851, that's when it started. And you start getting into the 1900s, and you have Anslinger involved with the Secretary of Finance. You can go there, but you can also look at the paper industry, because you could actually make paper out of hemp. But look at the forestation when they were the paper mills. They were making money from cutting down trees. They weren't eco-friendly back then. They were more about, okay, we own all of these paper industries. They can make it for hemp, but if you make it illegal, then it can force. These are all theories, and there's nothing that's really proven. But there's a lot of, the pharmaceutical companies start coming into market. As they mentioned, Lilly, Pfizer, all had Park Davis, pharmaceutical companies, all had tincture of cannabis in cough medicine they gave to children. They would have it with chloroform. They would have it with morphine to suppress a cold. The thing is, the restrictions were so loose back then that they could get away with it. And as things tightened up through the years and politics changed, and pharmaceutical companies are now giving money to the politicians to vote a certain way, it wasn't done for the right reason. There's been over 75 years of repression. It's almost like prohibition in the early 20s is going to be like what we're dealing with right now. 100 years from now, people are going to look back at it and say, why was it so, regulated? So.
All right, Matt, are you ready?
Sure. My name is Matt. I'm a patient care representative at Pharmacannabis. Basically, my role is, especially if you're a new patient, I take you to a certain room. I go over the guidelines on how to use the medication. I show exactly how to dose it, how to titrate. We always look for feedback. We always try to keep in contact with our patients to see how the medication is working with them, or working for them. And we'll also, we can only try to give you what your doctor has recommended. But if after a while, if that ratio is not working, we'll get in touch with your doctor for you and try a different ratio. It's really all about the ratio. We have 5 right now in tinctures. We have a 20 120-1, which is a higher THC product. That would be really good for neuropathic pain, chronic pain. Then we have a 1-1 tincture, which is equal parts THC and CBD, which would help with pain, would also really help with muscle spasms, inflammation. The CBD is really good for autoimmune disorders, and especially for people with seizure disorders. And then we have a 1-20, which is the opposite, so it's 1 part THC to 1 part CBD. That ratio is really specifically made mainly for people with seizure disorders. Fortunately, right now, we made the 1-20 in states that we can't give it to children because it has an alcohol base. There's just a little bit too much alcohol for them to call it pediatrics formula. So that's in the works right now. They haven't given us an exact date of when that'll come out, but I know it should be in about a month or two. And so right now, all we have is tinctures and vape pens. The nice thing about the tincture is you kind of have to use it daily. Usually recommend maybe 3 to 4 times a day, but it really depends on the person. You were there, we usually try on a smaller dose, and you said you had fibromyalgia? Yeah. We've seen with fibromyalgia, smaller doses like you were taking seem to work better than a larger dose. We're not exactly sure why, but that's the goal. I see it every day helping people, especially with nerve pain. We've helped people get off their opiate-based medications. What we like to do there is get you on a dose where you start feeling comfortable, and then with permission from your doctor, you slowly start getting off these other types of medications. It's not going to replace it one day for the other. You can't be on your opiates and then start medical marijuana and think that you can just replace it with medical marijuana. It's going to take some time. It also takes a little time for it to work. We usually say it takes about 1 to 2 weeks for you to build up a therapeutic dose in your body, and then, like we mentioned before, it gets stored in your fat cells and your fat tissue and gets released over time. And we also have a few other ratios, which is in between a 1-1. We have a 1 to 2 now, which would be good for pain and muscle spasms. And then we have a 1 to 4, which is a lower amount of THC and a higher amount of CBD. The CBD is what you really want with muscle spasms, seizure disorders. And it really bums me out that the state wouldn't let us sell our 1 to 20, which is really good for your children, because it has a little bit too much alcohol in it, which is basically a preservative.
Why don't you just evaporate out some alcohol?
That's a good idea. I'm not sure what the base is going to be, but I'm hoping that comes in a month.
I can't believe this, because the phenobarbital, which is used for epilepsy, is primarily alcohol. And that's, it was like, my son was drinking 3 beers a day. My alcohol that was in phenobarbital. Yet they're going to put a restriction.
And there's such a minute amount there
Small.
already. But there's so many regulations and rules that we have to follow. It's really something they said. They kind of made that formulation before people with seizures, kids that have seizures, they would buy stuff.
Did I hear you guys can take credit cards now?
We can take debit cards now as of 3 days. Yeah, we finally able to get in touch with the bank. Representatives from the bank came in and saw how we did things, and it was very professional. And they agreed to take a chance and let us have an account there. It was really nice.
How many employees do you have?
Right now there is 4 basically. We have 2 pharmacists that are they're not full time. They just come when the main pharmacist Rachel is there, and then myself, which is patient care representative. We have a security guard and then another patient care representative.
So, is there a network of folks that provide this? You guys network together? Well, I guess my basic question is, what is your company doing on the legislative side to try to drive this with the money that you're making from the people that are going to your organization, spending money? How much are you turning that back into a legislative agenda?
That's a good question, and I'm really not sure exactly what they're doing. That's a really good question, and I wish I knew.
I mean, we need to know this kind of stuff. This is exactly what we're talking about. These guys are great, but how much you can help doing to help raise the awareness?
And that's exactly kind of why I'm here today, is to try to get the word out.
They don't really do a lot of answers. You can call the Department of Health, and
You'll be frustrated.
yeah, the transparency is poor.
I'm saying go to companies and find out what are you doing with your financials to help raise the awareness on the legislative agenda. Because until we fix the legislative barrier, this is all about being held hostage by the state.
Oh, if I may ask you a question, the ROs are not legally permitted to do much more than simply dispense the product within the state laws. They're not even actually allowed to put up so much as a sign outside of their window. They're very,
They can't advertise.
very restricted.
They can't say discounts. They're so it's laid out in the regulations what they can and can't do.
Actually, we do have discounts.
They can offer discounts, but they
They
can't.
can publish, exactly. So the way this, you know, I was talking to like my organization.
Yeah, it's our anniversary sales.
Like the Coney, like WNY Normal, this is how we actually get a chance to let people know that Pharmacanis and Bloomfield and the doctors who prescribe them do exist. Because right now, Pharmacanis and Bloomfield and the other ROs, Etain and the rest of them, cannot legally advertise. They can't say, this is where you get your medical cannabis.
So it's word of mouth and anecdotal.
This is not unusual.
This is the purpose for our meeting tonight. Yes, but
In most other highly regulated states, the
And
information
so out
comes
of
across
these,
from
you know,
organizations like this.
different centers,
Massachusetts has had it since
you might have,
2013,
1 to 20,
and the organization
and they
is
might
trying
have
to
1 to
have
20,
it
but
because of things like
you might need 2 to 10, but no one in those has it. That's how they're gonna learn that this is a good product to use and
Yeah.
add more to it.
Yeah, so most dispensaries they want you to start with a 20 to 1, which is 20 parts THC to 1 part CBD, and a 1 to 1, which is equal parts THC to CBD, and then a 1 to 20. So on the other end of the spectrum, a high CBD product.
Right.
And then we have 2 in the middle of that as well.
But the possibility is endless, really,
Correct, yeah.
to each person in there. And
So
when will we get to that level? Is that what we're working towards?
Exactly.
In your
In my-
company's mindset, that's what they're working towards,
Yeah.
is different tinctures and different
Exactly.
ratios?
So
Okay.
right now, we only have tinctures and vaporizers, but capsules are in the works. Probably have those.
So our feedback is
Huge.
essential.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's basically, we need all the feedback we
It
can
makes
get.
a difference.
Oh, it really does. I mean, I see people every day that come in that, I mean, they just look terrible. They'll come in and 2 weeks later, you know, they're still hurting. And then, you know, I'll see someone that came in with a walker, a month later, they're coming in with a cane. You know, saying, you know, we're not going to get off their opiate medication, and they just really seem to work. It's really amazing to see everything.
Yeah, yeah.
And what else I really think is very amazing is how just one plant can help treat so many different ailments. I mean, and one ratio may be helping someone with their pain, and maybe someone with seizures, the same ratio. Really interesting.
Yeah.
Everything is customized dosing. It's not something you can say, oh, this is the one dose that's going to work for everybody.
Yeah.
Wonder if you have multiple issues that it could benefit, and then you have to choose which condition you want to work
well,
with.
that's the benefit of going to see a doctor.
Yeah.
But I mean, wonder if that doctor, you need to see the neurologist, and then you need to see this doctor.
A
and
lot
this-
of it also,
It's like
Wendy-
you,
like
yeah.
Wendy was saying, you know, she's got, you know, so one thing works better for her IBS, one works better for pain, one works better for like neuropathic pain, and something else is a little bit better. But the thing is, over time, you also have to realize that you're sort of filling your body with cannabinoids in a sense. So
Okay.
there's 30 odd cannabinoids we know of. So you reach a balance, and a lot of what we know about the cannabinoid system now is it's a moderating function. This system we have is here to try to keep things in balance. And we haven't explored how to manipulate that system.
Right, okay.
This is the way to manipulate that system.
You don't have the data, which is so important in the medical community because we have theories of how it works, but until we have 10,000 patients, 20,000 patients,
Right.
then the medical community will say, oh, maybe this is, appropriate, and then you have, your theories turn into, truth. And that's the hard part, because the doctor's like, well, it sounds good on paper, but, they can say, I talked to this person and it never worked for them. So, and other people say it worked great. And we need, the medical community, science. We need need to have clear conducted trials and patients tracked, so you can do a medical write-up so that we can publish and tell the entire world that this actually does work.
We also need a doctor. Everybody needs to ask their doctor why they're not having someone in their office refer them for certification. I mean, every single doctor can be a referring doctor to this program. Every single doctor's office can have a PA that can get registered to certify their patients to the system. So we need more voices now to ask, harass the hell out of them. Why are you not certifying people in the system? Because there's not enough doctors. Cannabis clinic is getting like bombarded. They have like a list a mile long of people that are trying to get in there. And they have to follow the rules and everything, but we need more doctors to certify patients to get in the system so, we can get the huge ball rolling that needs to be going.
You only have 1,000 doctors and 14,000 patients across New York State today. For those indications.
No, but the doctor does have to certify first.
Yeah, they have to take a 4-hour course. It's not a big deal.
Some of the doctors have said, I don't want to pay the $225 to take the course. That was the worst thing. If I did this, and how are you so?
When you say you want balance,
Right.
I've actually hit my point where, lunacy versus practicality, it makes you nuts. If I focused on being angry all the time, something would suffer. And I'm playing their game. The state's pulling up their money, so now I'm trying to figure out how can help patients and make them money. So it's not, a couple of years ago, Governor Cuomo wanted nothing to do with recreation. Now I'm hearing he may actually entertain it. Why?
Do you know, I read the other day that Colorado has $72 billion in tax revenues from the sale of marijuana. And last year, it cost $1.2 billion.
There's just so much tax revenue coming in, like they gave it to the decision back to their taxpayers, whether they wanted to refund it, like everybody could have gotten a refund.
They hit a theoretical ceiling, they never thought they
Giving
would.
it back. But they actually, the taxpayers going to throw it back into the system. Right now they're getting brand new roads, brand new educational system is going into